Gogeta vs Broly. Now, that was an amazing battle, wasn't it? Dragon Ball Super Broly is my #1 theater-going experience of all time. If you didn't see it in theaters, you probably don't understand how insane it was. I went with my brother and my ex, and the theater was so jam-packed that we couldn't even get seats together. So we had to sit on the steps and definitely cause a fire hazard. It was amazing. From Super Saiyan God Vegeta to Broly going Super Saiyan for the first time, I think we can all agree one of the craziest moments was finally seeing the birth of Gogeta and Canon on the big screen. It was funny because to get us hyped up for the film, the first Broly movie, Fusion Reborn, and the Bardock special were all brought to the States and to the silver screen. They tried to play coy and say these are just the popular movies everybody wants to see in theaters, but they were actually trying to remind us of parts of the franchise we love, since we'd all get them remixed soon. The idea of watching Broly battle Gogeta in a canon story with amazing animation was crazy enough as is, but what made it even weirder is just how many times they've already tried to make it happen. See, Gogeta and Broly are two of the most popular and recognizable characters in all of Dragon Ball, and by far the most popular when it comes to the movies. So, in the grand scheme of things, this matchup is obvious. Now, whether it makes sense for Z Broly's power is a different story, unless you ask Takao Koyama, the creator of Z Broly. As he said in the Dragon Box release for the movies when asked why Broly returned so many times.
Because he's the strongest. Laughs. Even including the TV anime, nobody exists in the world who's stronger than Broly. I mean, even Vegeta, Prince of the Saiyans, was trembling in fear. Laughs. I felt that there was no way that kind of mightiest being would die in a single outing. After all, there were kids who cried at Broly's overwhelming strength when they saw Burn Up at Shueisha's preview screening. Laughs.
He's very proud of his baby. Our first instance of Broly fighting Gogeta comes from the intro of Budokai 3.
Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3, the greatest warriors, a tournament of champions. Only one will prevail.
And man, this intro is fantastic. If there's a single theme song from my childhood, it's either this one or Tenkaichi 3. In this intro, Goku, Vegeta, and the others are fighting many different opponents. Frieza, Cell, Kid Buu, suspiciously powerful metal coolers. They're kinda getting their asses kicked, so Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta look at each other and it's time to fuse. This was always the craziest thing to me as a child, and it honestly still is. These two rivals putting aside their differences and pride to join forces and defeat an overwhelming force. This time, Z Broly. Say what you will about him, how he's not as interesting as Super Broly or whatever else, he was a true monster. So him being put up against Gogeta is kind of an obvious choice. The ultimate symbol of Saiyan teamwork and strength, the angel born in hell or whatever you TikTok kids like to call him nowadays, versus the devil himself.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
It is simple but effective. They clash in the middle and Gogeta goes flying back, only to charge a Kamehameha and catch Broly off guard, which, ironically enough, would be how the canon Broly vs Gogeta would end, and just like how you should Kamehameha the subscribe button. 3 years after the final chapter of the Budokai series was released, if you don't count any of these, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 would release and bring the Dragon Ball simulators to its ultimate evolution.
What happened? Why are you trashed? Why trash? Why your body?
And with a brand new opening by Hironobu Kageyama. This time we completely forgo the canon villains, except for Fat Buu for whatever reason, and skip straight into the movie ones. Broly and Janemba have both arrived on Earth. This really tells you how high steam Broly was seen at. A character who was defeated by weaker versions of our heroes is standing side by side with the final villain of the story and his movie equivalent. I mean, Janemba is right there, and Gogeta still fights Broly instead. His popularity was crazy, and because of this, his power was too. Maximum, if you will. No matter how many times you defeat Broly, he will come back stronger. I love this part where Vegeta steps up to Broly and Janemba as if he's gonna be able to do anything against either of them. Gohan really saved him by flying by. Predictably, Vegeta gets punched across a rock formation by Broly. On beat this time. And fuses with Goku once more. Apparently, it wasn't enough for Gogeta to beat Broly in 2D, he had to do it in 3D as well. They dance around a little bit, battle, and fly around Buu as Gotenks challenges him. I really like this intro. The finale is an obvious reference to this cover of Gohan, Gotenks, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku blasting the Majins. It's really cool to see Ultimate Gohan fighting alongside Gogeta. They even trade opponents, so at least Janemba got his rematch. As a big Gotenks fan, I appreciate the focus on him. So those two PS2 games predicted the incredible Broly movie. There was actually one more time they fought each other, which you may not know about. Back in 2017, a whole year before Broly released, Universal Studios Japan had a Dragon Ball attraction called Dragon Ball Z, the Real 4D, at the Super Tenkaichi Budokai. Quite a mouthful. This was a follow-up to a previous 4D show, where Goku battles Frieza. That one kinda predicted Resurrection F, but I digress. If you want to learn more about that one and every other strange and lost Dragon Ball special, I have a video all about them. Anyways, this time around, the Z Fighters would participate in a new Battle Royale tournament. Goku, Piccolo, the Great Saiyaman, Vegeta, Krillin, and Mr. Satan all gather around. There's a really nice animated intro setting up the story, but the real meat comes once the 3D section starts. Sadly, finding good footage of this is extremely difficult, and I'm pretty sure it's more or less lost media at this point. But Krillin manages to get Gohan to flee by stealing his sunglasses, and Android 18 distracts Piccolo from the stands along with us, so Krillin can beat him. And yes, we're in the audience flying around in a special machine built by Bulma, when suddenly Broly crashes through the ceiling. Now mind you, this is the Dragon Ball Super era. Goku and Vegeta fight him in Super Saiyan Blue. So it's cool that Broly managed to jump across continuities and have his own Super Era battle, despite DBS Broly coming in soon. Anyways, this Broly has a brand new form, Legendary God Super Saiyan. It's pretty cool, even if it's fairly similar to Super Saiyan 3 Broly. Most of the battle is obscured by this big head over here, but Vegeta defends Bulma and us in the audience, getting knocked out. So if Vegeta is out cold, how does Gogeta get to fight Broly? Well, that's a good question. Technically, it's not 100% Gogeta, but it might as well be. I mean, look at the poster. That's definitely a red herring, but looks just like Gogeta. Bulma ends up wishing on the Dragon Balls for something, which allows Goku to gain his power back, and begins to gather energy. Not for the Spirit Bomb this time, but for the God Fusion. A fusion between Goku and us, the audience. Yeah, it's crazy. The original 4D attraction had a similar gimmick, where we gave energy to Goku instead, but now we're literally part of the fight. We fuse with Goku and the perspective changes into first person, from watching Goku fight to literally being the fusion. It's great to see videos of people actually getting into it, firing Kamehamehas, punching, and defeating Broly once and for all. This is the last story with Z Broly, so I guess we were the ones to kill him? And then, of course, we got the real deal in Dragon Ball Super Broly. After decades of teasers, intros, what-ifs, and 4D theme park battles, Gogeta vs. Broly actually happened. Canonically, beautifully animated, and on the big screen. It wasn't just a fan dream anymore. All that build-up over the years made it somehow even more legendary. No pun intended. From the tension before Gogeta arrives, the shower of ki bullets, them breaking reality, but nothing really compares to the reaction of the crowd when the Soul Punisher was used.
I know those! Yo! No!
Sure, he didn't crush it like Z Gogeta, but the fact that it was there at all was just the right kind of jiggling keys we needed. They pulled no punches, and gave fans everything we wanted and more. But that wasn't the end of the story. After the Broly movie came out, they really committed to the bit, with the fight popping up even more. In Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we get an entirely new version of the fight, this time with Xeno Gogeta vs. Dark Broly, both in their super full power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker forms. It's just as insane as it sounds. In the anime, Xeno Gogeta shows up, saves Goku from Omega Shenron, and clowns on him just like in GT. But after Omega goes down, Demigra sends in Dark Broly, juiced up on evil energy and even more unhinged than ever. Broly rushes in swinging. Gogeta knocks him through the floor, Broly fires blast at him, only for Gogeta to counter with a Stardust Rain. And that's just one version of the fight. The manga version leans more into Broly's raw power and Gogeta's desperation, especially when the fusion time limit becomes a real problem. So Eos literally pauses time so he can keep fighting fused. It's a cool moment. Broly barely survives before getting tossed into a collapsing portal like it's nothing. And even when we got the movie version of the fight, the Super manga also showed it off in a different light, many times. We didn't get a proper arc for it. Instead, we got several flashbacks. We first see it in chapter 42, where we see Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta fighting Super Saiyan Broly. Gogeta doesn't appear in this flashback, but he does appear between chapters, having just defeated Broly and saying, "Sorry, but there's no room in this book to show our epic battle. See ya, Broly." Then we got a bonus 2-page chapter in volume 11, where Goku tells Mirrors and Jacko about his battles against Broly. And finally, the story is told one more time in chapter 93, while Broly battles Goku at Beerus' planet. But this time it's more complete, from King Vegeta vanishing Broly to Paragus' demise. Gogeta only appears in one more panel, trying to kill the poor guy. It's really become comical at this point. It's clear that they've really wanted to have this battle happen for years. It does kinda just sell itself. But at least they're self-aware. In Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, when Super Saiyan 4 Broly arrives, and neither Goku nor Vegeta can stand up against him, Goku suggests fusing into Gogeta, like they always do against Broly. But Vegeta yells at him that he's not gonna do that again. But we all know that's not true. At this point, Gogeta and Broly are forever linked, a legendary union of powers, and the rage of the legendary Super Saiyan. We always knew they'd clash. I guess it just took the franchise 25 years to catch up. The thing that Dragon Ball has been doing lately seems to be bringing non-canon things into canon, and things that fans really want. We've gotten Gogeta, Broly, Super Saiyan 4, a new interpretation of Bardock even. So, who knows? Maybe it's only a matter of time before we get new canon things based on intros. My personal vote is seeing Ozaru Baby Vegeta teaming up with Cell, like in the intro of Tenkaichi 2. I need to know how they became boys. Thanks for watching, guys. I just wanted to make a smaller, shorter video in between bigger projects. And really, I just wanted to ramble about something I found interesting. But if you want more deep dives into Dragon Ball, then check out my video analyzing the ending of Dragon Ball GT.